All right. Welcome back, my regular viewers, listeners, and watchers. And of course, if you happen to be here for the very first time, welcome. Before I go any further, my name is Rahul George, India's premier eye hypnosis life healer coach and your personal guide. So, for those of you who are regular viewers, listeners, and watchers, especially of our pod, the eye hypnosis life coaching journeys, this is a specially curated podcast of some absolutely amazing professionals, people who are dedicating their lives, their focus, and their intentions on healing and, of course, coaching. And in that spirit, we are now fully into season two. And this is the very first pod of 2025 that we're recording. And it's it's definitely a privilege to invite a special guest, and you'll understand in a few moments why. Dr. Chandralekha is somebody that I met not too long ago, but there's something about when we talk about people have an aura, that is something that you will definitely get to experience. So, without further ado, I'd like to invite you now, Dr. Chandralekha. This is your cue. You can turn on your camera and officially a warm welcome in. And thank you for making the time to be here and for sharing your life's story and what you do and why you do what you do, because I know that whether it is somebody who is in a directly related field to what you do or somebody who is a healer and a coach, I know that your story, your journey will definitely be inspiring. So with that, a warm welcome to you.
Thank you so much, Rahul. I'm so privileged to be here and share the stage with you. And I want to inspire people and bring something good from out of mine. Thank you so much for this wonderful.
Beautiful. So, typically the traditional way of introducing people is where we sort of read out a long bio of what they're doing. But something I was told not too long ago, which is, let people introduce themselves, because there's something very, very powerful about the words that you have been called upon to share today. And I'm sure, as people hear you, your story, and they get to know more about your life, they will truly be inspired. So maybe to start with, if you could just share a little bit about what is it that you do today?
Okay, so basically, if I have to say what I do today first, so I'm a happy pregnancy coach and I make pregnant couples to become more happier, to create more divine and more healthy babies. So this is
Beautiful.
what I do today. So we have built a beautiful community called as Matru Devo Bhava. So in this community, we help pregnant couples and mainly those who are planning also, for those who are planning for pregnancy.
Mm,
So they come into the community, they learn how to create the environment for a divine soul to enter and how it needs to be getting nurtured all throughout the preconception period. And once after they conceive, they go through a beautiful journey called as pregnancy.
mhm.
And during this journey of pregnancy, they learn a lot of samskaras, the culture, the character, virtues, basically from the womb. And the journey continues to post pregnancy. So we have created a 1,000 days journey, and during this 1,000 days, they go to a complete level of transformation. This is what we do today.
Amazing. I'm tempted to explore different themes that you talked about, but the one that that struck me immediately was you used the word divine,
Yeah.
right? So that is something that I would definitely love for you to share. How did you come upon this? Maybe we can start, sort of like going back in time to, because you definitely are at that point right now where you're not only building a community, you have a program, you have a structured plan to help couples have a beautiful start of a new journey.
Yeah.
But I'm sure people would love to know, before they get to know more about your programs and what you do, I'm sure they'd love to know how you got to this point in your life. Like, what's your journey been like? So,
So if I have to share a little about my journey, basically I come from a middle class family. So going through all the different stages of life, I had been observing one thing very, very clearly, that there is some loophole, especially in health and
mm,
wellness and all these things.
mm,
So, coming from a very basic middle class family, my father used to always work more on the prevention
mm,
aspects. rather than getting into a trouble and then shooting the trouble is a bit complicated thing. So I always was very much encouraged to prevent the problems, prevent health issues,
Mm.
prevent any complications, and that was the thing. And over the time, I think that resonation helped me very well. Then I chose to go and study naturopathy and yoga sciences. So that was a time this alignment helped me to prevent problems rather than only treating it after it has come. For example, working on a diabetic patient, definitely we can reverse diabetes, hypertension, or asthma, whatever it is. But the suffering, nobody can buy it, or nobody can take the suffering, right? So that is how I was very much inspired to work on the prevention aspect more than the only treatment. Because as a naturopathy doctor, I was very, very happy to help a lot of 40, 50 aged people, like more of lifestyle based disorders is what we treat.
Mm.
For example, osteoarthritis or hypertension, diabetes, asthma, all these kind of heart issues, all these things. So going through all these years, I was studying in a very good university in Bangalore. It is in Chigni. So it is called as Swami Vivekananda Yoga Anusandhan Samsthana. It is SVASA
Mm.
University, the very best universities in India.
Right.
So in that way, I was working more on the holistic aspects of health, not just specifically on one branch, but as a holistic group of things. So during that phase, it was very nice. As a young student, I was exploring a lot of things. But one day, it was a time where I was working in one of the hospitals called as Narayana Hridayalaya.
Mm.
So in this hospital, life was very nice as a young
Mhm.
doctor, going and seeing new patients, and especially I was posted in maternity
Right.
section. So where everyday babies used to take birth, that was very joyful
Mm.
to see new babies taking birth and all. But there was one painful moment that I went
Mm.
through in that journey. So during that day, one mother, she had come running to the hospital with lot of blood in her dress, and suddenly we got to examine her, and it was a sudden miscarriage. She had to lose her baby. It was not in first trimester, which generally happens. It was almost in the fifth month. It was a completely unexpected one. So her health was absolutely fine, but suddenly it happened. And she rolled out of tears, and it was a sudden, just not surprise, but it was a shock for her. And this was not the case only with her once, but multiple people have been going through a lot of painful
Mm.
conditions like this. Somebody comes very happy to see that they're pregnant. The couple are extremely happy, jumping with joy that finally they have conceived with a baby.
Mm.
But that happiness is only staying for a few weeks.
Right.
Suddenly don't know what's happening, but there is a miscarriage, there is some problem in their health. So when I was looking at all these things, I felt one thing. Till now, I was completely aligned to prevent
Mm.
problems. So I felt like a tight slap. You're a doctor. You can help people. Now, what is that you're doing? You're just helpless and just watching it, right? So I felt that on that day, and that was the day I felt I have to do this. I have to do something for these people so that they should not cry in pregnancy. Because pregnancy is such a precious for every child that the start begins not after birth, but it starts way before conception and especially after conception.
Mm.
So that journey should not be very much painful. So this is a phase where babies learn a lot of things from mother's womb. That's the reason we say mother's womb is a first classroom. Here, because of unexpected complications and so many complexities in our lifestyle, mental health, and so many other things, we are able to observe one thing, that is because of excessive stress,
Mm.
because of so many complications in health. And the good thing is, all these complications, more than 95% of complications can be prevented. So I could I could connect all the dots that even these things can be prevented.
Mm.
And if we don't prevent, the whole next generation is going to be destroyed with low health, or maybe they will not be so prosperous as we are. Right? It is our prime responsibility for them to not, at least if you could not give the best properties, or if you couldn't give so much of money, that's okay, but at least you as a parent should give the best health. At least good environment is more important. So that was the day I felt pregnancy is a time where babies are nurtured from the mother's womb, right? And if mother is going through a lot of pain, stress, and so many troubles in her life, she will never be able to enjoy it. Live about enjoying, at least baby will not get that good experience in the mother's womb. So that was the day I decided to go and find some solution for all of these things. And that was the day I found So there is one famous saying, no, if you have any problems, go back to Vedas and find what is the solution, because our Vedas, our traditions, our Indian culture and traditional knowledge is completely given with everything which is needed for us. So then that was the time I started exploring allopathy, Ayurveda, homeopathy, naturopathy, and every pathy possible.
Mm,
So, and with all this research, I was extremely happy that our Indian culture is so much rich enough
right.
that they have created a beautiful path for this.
Mm,
But we did not study all these things in the
mm,
college.
true.
That was a different thing. But when I was exploring, I was extremely happy because this is what I was searching for.
Mm,
And this is what are people suffering because they don't know. Right. And that was the time I felt very happy, started exploring, started learning a lot of things, and immediately I started from my mentor. He always says, learn, do, and teach.
mm,
So immediately I started learning and doing and also teaching the same, and started helping a lot of couples. We got wonderful results. And that was the moment when I helped them for the first woman. She had extreme complications in her pregnancy. Even though that was my first case, I was pretty much confident because we are going with the steps and scans and evaluating how it's working and all. It was very successful enough. She delivered naturally, and all her complications also were relieved. And that was the time I felt this is what I wanted. This is
mm,
what I dreamt of. And that has come real. Now, that was the moment I felt this is my one on only mission, that I have to help at least 1 million mothers to have more happy, healthy babies so that they can create better generations and better earth. That will not happen in 1 day or 1 week. It takes some years.
mm,
And that day should start from today. If every couple has at least one child, imagine how many children are taking birth every day,
mm,
right? And if one child is getting all the samskaras, values, that good virtues right from the mother's womb, their subconscious mind is properly wired
mm,
in order to live the most happy, auspicious, and prosperous life. And when they go become some good people, obviously they can influence millions of other
right.
people. So I felt this is the right way to start some transformation. Maybe I cannot sit and preach all the lakhs of people, but the see, when something goes wrong for some product, we always blame that person who has created it,
Mm,
right? So, for example, if some factory is creating it, we don't only blame that factory, but the person who has held that factory,
right.
maybe we will tell that, right? So, in case of babies, whom should we blame? We can't do it. So the best thing is to start from the mother's womb,
Mm,
because we can prevent a lot of complications even for the future generations to come. That strong genetics is something very, very important, and that's possible with epigenetics. So yes, this was my journey, and I started in 2022 January
mm,
specifically, Jan first week, and this 2025 we have completed more than 100 plus couples
wow.
with wonderful babies taking birth, and the mothers are calling up to share all their
Mm,
beautiful milestones with their children. Now, this
amazing.
is where I feel very, very happy and joyful that I'm living my mission already.
Beautiful. Just listening to you, it just shows, right? Like just the way that you're sharing this right now, it's like you're getting to live, truly live your dream, live your mission, live your purpose. So that's really beautiful.
And one thing to add up to us, as a young child, we come from a very basic middle class family, and we are four in kids, like
Mm,
myself and my two sisters and one brother.
mm,
So even though my father was not very rich person, we come from a middle class.
mm,
So even limited resources,
mm,
we could get college, like good seat in good college. We could study well, and we never spent too much of money on health expenses because we had good food, good
mm,
environment. That means even a person who is not extremely rich also can give good virtues
correct.
to their children. So I could connect that, so that if parents give the right samskaras at the right time,
Mm,
we can guide the population in the right
mm,
direction. So that is something very which is very much connecting. So I thought this is something what every parent should learn.
mm.
Yeah.
That's something you said right now. I'm curious to know, in today's day and age where everything is becoming more and more technology based, everything is becoming more modern science based. Even if you say until say maybe 2 years, 3 years ago, where AI was still not yet a thing, but now in the last, depending on what parents are doing, they're either aware very, very deeply, or to an extent they're aware of this thing of AI and medicine and all of that and technology, right? And on the other hand, when you talk about garbha samskaras, which is literally our ancient roots, right? How do parents, how do they relate to this?
Okay, with modern science and ancient
So you
science.
have like almost like two extremes, right?
Right. Yeah.
Like modern science, so called, is everything can be seen. Whether it is the tests and the readings and the monitors and all of that, right? In ancient science, we didn't have any visual monitors as much as I understand it, right? But it has literally thousands of years of having, so-called battle tested it. So therefore, when something was said or done, right, it wasn't just a thousand or 10,000 cases. It was literally like lakhs and lakhs and lakhs of people had gone through that, and so they had perfected, if you want to call it that, the the way to create this healthy process, right from pre-conception and then post, right? So how do modern parents today respond to this? How do they react to this?
Very beautiful question. In fact, this is my core actually. As a as a doctor, when I started to learn all these things,
Mm,
I was a little scared because when doctors look at all these things, it feels like, okay, ultrasound we can see what is the weight of the, right? We can see how the brain is forming, whether neural tube is right or not,
correct,
if there is any heart
correct.
or not. Why do we have to do all these samskaras? Because we can see, we can look at the
Yes.
reports and we can see if there is any problem or not. And one thing in this ancient sciences,
Mm,
which is not like we were not able to see those something
correct.
on, at least if we go back to at least 20 years back,
Mm,
I think when I was born, ultrasound was not so popular. My mother did not have any
yeah,
ultrasound.
that's right.
She was pregnant.
Yeah.
So now connecting the both aspects. So I'll give the straight answer to this question.
Hmm.
If any parents, those who are pregnant today, both are very,
Mm,
as they're pregnant, they
mm,
should have the regular checkups, ultrasounds, medicines, all these things.
mm,
That doesn't they have to neglect it, which is told in our shastras,
mm,
which is told in our samskaras, because there is limitation in both of it.
mm,
When we are intelligent enough, we have to integrate both to get good aspects from modern science and good aspects from ancient science as
mm,
well. Because even ancient science also, for example, if I have to give you a small example,
mm,
during Garbha Samskar, we ask them to talk to the babies.
mm,
Literally, they have to talk loudly as I'm just talking to you,
mm,
just to the baby also. Right? If you look the same thing in the modern today's world, I think if you evaluate baby when it reaches 18 weeks or like around fourth, fifth month of time,
mm,
baby can clearly hear. And that is being proven with lot of researchers today.
right.
Like mothers during pregnancy, they are experimented with different kinds of sounds, different set of mantras, with different set of preachings
Mm,
or different set of nature sounds. The babies have reacted in different ways to
wow.
different kinds of sounds,
Mm,
right? So that which was told in ancient science can be proven with modern science as well, right? And to be very specific, today what we are seeing in ultrasound, so and so month, so and so weight your baby will be getting, or
mm,
so and so month neural tube formation will be happening.
mm,
To my surprise, all these things were actually
right.
proven in ancient science as well.
Mm,
So both are complementary. So when we go dig deep, both are perfect. So superficially, when we see, we think that okay, like ancient science was good, but monetarily we couldn't see.
mm,
But
correct.
that there also they have seen, but documentation could be little less. So even documentation were happening on the temples, on the
Mm,
stones, carvings, and all. Even the shape of the sperm and ovum, the fusion, how the baby is formed, what would be the shape of the baby. Even before all these things that we have found, maybe they how they found I don't know, but it was still documented that way
mm,
long back.
mm,
Now we are seeing on modern.
right.
So for all the pregnant couples, what I would say is integrating the facilities of modern science and exploring the ancient science
Mm,
put together, we can have biggest advantage
right.
for our pregnancies and our babies as well.
Mm, beautiful. That's so, it's amazing that you have taken upon this. I won't even say it's a task; it's a mission, isn't it? It's something that you feel so strongly and so deeply driven to do.
Yes.
And I'm sure as time progresses, when there are more people, there are more professionals who take on, a similar role, and they are out there promoting this Garbha Samskara, it will definitely create a lot of that balance for all the imbalance that exists all around us, right? Whether we talk about the environment, whether we talk about in the context of wellness, in the context of health, stress, like these are things that literally, like from the moment you open your eyes till the moment you close your eyes, we're constantly like being bombarded by it.
Yes.
You've definitely chosen, in the most simplest way of saying it, a very noble path. I'd love for you to also share, did you always have this notion, this idea of doing this kind of work? Or if you go back in time, maybe to your teens or even before, like did you have some sort of an idea that you would be doing this kind of work?
Specifically, to be very precise, I wanted to become doctor.
Mm.
From my childhood, it was my father's dream as well.
Mm.
So my dream also was to become a doctor.
Mm.
But I wanted to be in some or the other way in pregnancy field only. Like I wanted to become a gynecologist. When I was third or fourth standard itself, that was there in my mind. I used to always imagine myself delivering a lot of babies in hospitals. I used to dream like that. And so some way after my 12th, no, I had written my exam. That time it was not NEET exam, it was KSET exam. But because of few mark difference, I did not get a seat that time. But I chose the other way of going into a naturopathy and yoga sciences because yoga
Mm.
was my core. It was
Right.
like I was very strong at yoga. So that was the way I chose to become a doctor in a different field, in a different sector,
Mm.
which I was more interested.
Right.
But today I'm very happy that I chose that way
Mm.
because today I'm able to integrate the modern science also, ancient science also
Right.
together.
Right.
So I'm doing, but I was not having any clear idea until and unless I was working in Narayana Vidyalaya. I
Mm.
was not having any purpose in sky.
Mm.
But somehow I wanted to work related to pregnancy or with women's health. This was very clear from
Mm.
the childhood. But once the time when I did not get the seat in a medical college, that was the time I was thinking, this is what had to happen. But
Mm.
why didn't this happen? So I was finding a way, how do I reach there?
Mm.
I was never worried of the path, but I was very clear on what I wanted.
Mm.
And I chose that path. And the college where I studied also was extremely on how I dreamt of. So everything was
Wow.
coinciding and connecting all the dots, even like connecting the ancient science with modern science. Even our university also talks about best of the East with best of the West.
Mm.
So yoga also talks about the
Mm.
same. All things are extremely connecting to know that I'm happy doing what I'm, maybe because all these things are happening today,
Mm.
because maybe because I had dreamt of all these things
Right.
long back. I was one thing which I have to be very precise is I was never an online person
Mm.
because I did not know anything about, I did not even know how do I operate on laptop also.
Right.
Only
Right.
maybe once in a while I used to make some PPTs for presentation in the college, but I was not such an online person. We used to always treat patients offline.
Right.
We used to talk to people, give therapies, treatments, all
Mm.
offline.
Mm.
That shift, I never imagined that I'll be sitting like a corporate employee, sitting in front of a laptop to help millions of people, which
Right.
I never imagined. But today, I'm leveraging my time,
Mm.
helping so many people at once. That's something I'm very, very happy about.
So that
Yeah.
brings me to the next chapter, right? So, like you said, from childhood, you always had this. So do you remember, or is there a moment when you kind of knew that you were having these kind of visions or these kind of dreams of, when I grow up, this is what I want to do? Was there like a particular moment way back in childhood? Do you remember, like when you sort of were like, okay, my friends are talking about being engineers or doctors, or I mean, I don't know if IT would have been there at that point, but and definitely no YouTube and all of that. That was like much later. But did you ever have? Do you remember if there was a particular moment way back when you kind of started to see these dreams coming over and over again?
Yes, it was happening a lot of times because that is my environment was just like that.
Hmm.
So my father wanted me to become doctor. So whenever we used to see any big doctors, so my father used to say, "See, you will become like that.
Wow.
You will do what they are doing. So you will learn just like them. Your lifestyle will be like them." So he used to literally make me visualize
Hmm.
that maybe when I want to come to your hospital to visit you, maybe you'll be very busy.
Wow.
He used to tell me, and I don't know. I used to imagine all that things
Amazing.
and I used to act as if I'm already there.
Yeah, I was just going to ask because this, especially we may be kind of like crisscrossing for a moment, but this is something that we notice today, right? When we talk about visualizations, we talk about affirmations, your environment does really play a part, and
Yeah,
especially growing up when you have parents that are like, especially at the earliest of stages, when you have parents that are supporting you and nudging you to dream, not just dream big, but like see that as a reality, right? Like
correct.
when I meet you, you'll be busy in the hospital, which kind of puts it in a certain context, right?
Yes.
Very, very powerful. So, like I said, your that was the start point, and then you went through the formal education, though it
Mm.
wasn't hardcore medicine, so to speak. It turned out to be almost like a blessing. I don't know about in disguise, it was a blessing because you actually ended up doing more of and specializing more of in the space in the area where you wanted to be. And then something very fascinating happened, which was 2020, and it literally turned things around for a lot of people. Now my question before we get to that is, did you have that sort of awareness, awakening, knowing about digital before COVID, or was that something that COVID kind of brought it closer home to you? This thing of being able to.
Mhm. To answer to your question, my path was very clear because I always plan future in
Correct.
advance. How I was thinking is the time when COVID happened, that time I was actually in internship. So 2020 March, April, that time I was in internship. But that was the time I just entered. Only 20 days I did
Wow.
work and all. And suddenly COVID happened and we all had sent home. We came back to home. That was the time I started exploring more about internet things, and especially that time there was not even Wi-Fi at home because there is no need, right?
Right.
Only mobile data was
Correct.
more than enough. And that was the time I started exploring. And one thing which took me very hard was, as a naturopathy doctor, I cannot go and work in any allopathy hospitals.
Right.
So
Right.
naturopathy hospitals majority will be closed because of
Mm,
COVID, because of communication and all. So I was sitting idle at home. Actually, I was feeling very bad that this is a time when people need doctors more, and
mm,
I'm not in a position to go and help.
mm,
I was actually feeling this very badly inside. And that was the time I started exploring everything online. But anyhow, I did not want to sit idle.
mm,
That was the reason I started exploring. And way before doing internship itself, I was very clear that I wanted to go for post graduation in yoga therapies. So I was about to do MD in yoga, and
mm,
I also written exam during that COVID space only. I got seat also. I was about to enter, but that was a time, wonderful moment. I should say that's the most
mm,
auspicious time I met Siddharth, and I took a decision not to go into another 3 years of formal education
mm,
and turned my way to digital things. Started exploring my passion, mission, whatever it was. That mission, whatever I was thinking, had
mm,
come true when I started to work with Siddharth.
mm. Nice.
So
Mm,
formal education also I took for 5.5
mm.
years. Another 3 years which I wanted to invest for MD, that I did not go because of this one important decision I took that 2021.
Right. Beautiful. So, like you said, in college, did you use much of technology? Like, was there
At
not at
all.
all, right? And the intention would have been I will graduate and then with
Oh,
my and post grad, and then I will, at best, I will see clients.
yes.
And at that point, working with pregnant moms or parents, that was not yet on the cards, right? It was just
No, no.
about holistic healing and wellness, and it was more sort of broad initially,
Correct.
correct? And then, of course,
Yes.
COVID happened, and then you had that whole journey. As someone who, for people who are, let's say, closer to what you're doing, which means they're some way connected to, let's say, medicine. What are some of the things that you have learned in the last maybe 3 to 4 years that can help them? Because I see a lot of doctors recognizing the need, right? And there, of course, there are some that haven't yet, connected into the opportunities that exist when we talk about digital. So, what are some of the things that, if you had to now zoom out and look at the last 3, maybe 4 years, things that you have learned, from having done your experiments? Like you said, you didn't do your master's, your
Graduation.
postgrad. Instead, you chose to focus on digital. So it's almost
Correct.
like you've chosen a different kind of postgrad.
Correct.
And I'm sure it would have been a more hands-on, more practical postgrad. So you have a very unique position that can help people. Firstly, of course, who are in the medical field, and then of course, as you zoom out a bit, people who are in some form wanting to use their professional skills to help more people. So, what would you like to reflect on and share?
Definitely, I would love to share some important things what I have explored the last 3 years. In case if I was a completely offline person, hardly I would have treated only one or two people in a day
Okay.
maximum. Now in the last 20, 22, 23, 24, in the last 3 years, more than 100 plus couples we have uh, like helped them. At the same time, we have built a beautiful community. Community aspect, maybe it is going to be difficult in offline mode. So to come online, to give your knowledge, to help the right people at the right time, having some skill set is very important. This is for sure. And that skill set will come only when we explore. Yeah, just sitting idle or just meditating doesn't help us to create all these things. We need to practice. We need to make videos. We have to come in front of the camera, talk to people, make webinars, workshops, do whatever it takes to help more people. This is what I have learned in the last 3 years, and more of exploration is very much needed. So when you sit in a cocoon, you don't know what's happening outside. So you have to be in a zone of exploration, as much exploration as possible. Then it will help us to understand the real scenario outside. So, like if someone has some technical, like if they have some resistance to a technology, so they have to work on it so that they can overcome it very easily. Because I was a person, as I told, I used to only use laptop only to make PPT. That's it. That also I was not showing so much. Only how much ever is needed for the subject for that seminar. That is something that I had learned. But I never used even Excel also. Never used Word also.
Wow.
So, but today I think I can do a lot of things. So if someone is in medical field or pregnancy or whatever it is, we always think for us doing consultation is important or having good knowledge in brain is important. That's not only enough. We need to have at least basic knowledge in everything. That only comes when we start exploring. So we should not think that okay, this is not my niche or this is not my field of expertise. I don't want this. That is all not good. So we need to start exploring. For that exploration, we have to be open to learning. So one thing what I would love to say is, in case if I was learning in 3 years in college, this much of exploration I wouldn't have done because there is no need. So need is the mother of all invention, right? So if I was not here, if I was there, then I think I will do what is necessary for there.
Correct.
So
True.
so we should have a clear idea where do we want to see ourselves in the next few years. Based on that, I think this is my understanding. We should learn all the skills to reach there. In the right action at the right time will definitely help us to reach there, and that's always a journey. So enjoying journey is also very very important. We don't have to get stuck always thinking about the destination, which is always there, but enjoying the journey is very important, and literally I have enjoyed the journey, even though with a lot of technical things and challenges also are there, but enjoying challenges is also one beautiful thing.
Amazing. So, my wish, as I said, the intention is that for people to be inspired by what you're doing, not just the core of what you're doing, but also how you're building this into something that is accessible to more people. And the intention is that they are able to say, okay, you know what? If you can do it, then maybe I can too. And if that moves them along the way, then that's mission accomplished. Another question that comes up now is, so you've sort of, you committed to this. You said, okay, I'm not going to go one direction, I'm going another direction, and I'm going to understand how this whole internet world works, whether it was having a Wi-Fi connection to, of course, building into getting to the point where today you have a community and you're doing all the things that you're doing. We will talk about that in a moment. But if you could just share, like, so in fact, let's go there, right? So you've talked about community, a couple of times. What's that like for someone who is, wanting to be part of your community? Maybe they're like new parents or to be parents, and or they know of, friends and family where there are, you know, maybe just newlyweds or just after, and they're already thinking, okay, yeah, this is something that will help them. Give us a sort of like a bird's eye view of what happens in your community.
So what happens in our community is basically we have crafted a 1,000 days journey. So this 1,000 days in a child's life is very, very important, especially the first 1,000 days of a baby. So a lot of us get excited once we see those two beautiful pink lines on the pregnancy card. And that's the time they actually follow good diet, some exercise, some walking, and all of that. And after that, they think, okay, this is something very great service I'm doing for myself or for my baby. But apart from that, there are many, many things to do during pregnancy. And in case if someone misses, that cannot be replaced later after the baby is born. So this 1,000 days journey, whatever we have planned, starts from the preconception before they conceive a baby. So there is a proper system called as Garbhadana Samskara, which comes from our ancient science, which is clearly describing how should both husband and wife, the couple should get ready for making a baby.
Mm,
This is not only related to physical getting ready,
mm,
but also which is completely getting ready from emotions, getting ready from spiritual component,
mm,
getting ready from financial things also. So basically, they should make some space for the baby to come
mm,
into their life. So for that, being completely ready from all dimensions will help them to manifest it much faster.
mm,
And also, we work on Bija Samskara, which means like improving the quality of the sperm and ovum also. So that is very much needed because in current generation, there are so many challenges,
mm.
uh, especially to get conceived at the same time.
Yeah.
Even after conception, continuing and reaching that ninth month is a very, very big milestone. So a lot of setbacks are coming in between. So I just wanted to work from the root. That root will start from pre-pregnancy stage. So we work with their health, overall health,
Mm,
because many people are physically healthy, but inside their mind they have huge amount of stress, huge amount of some other negative emotions stored, and some past karmas will be there. So we need to heal all of that before they give all the negative karma to the baby. So all this is done before they conceive and once after they conceive, because many people will join my community after they conceive
mm,
only during pregnancy, the fourth month, fifth, sixth, seventh, or eighth month also. So during pregnancy, we have different trimesters, first, second, third
mm,
trimester. In this whole journey, they explore themselves and the baby in four different components:
mm,
physical quotient, emotional quotient, intellectual, and spiritual quotient. So, all the four components, we make them do a very detailed exploration
mm.
on how they want their baby to be there. We make them do some specific beautiful vision boards. So we give
Yes.
different types of tasks and we actually literally make them design their divine baby in different dimensions,
Mm,
how they want to inculcate all these samskaras, how they want to inculcate their culture, traditions in their baby. This is very important because today's generation kids do not know that what is our culture
mm.
also. Where do we come from? Who are our ancestors?
Right.
And what was their lifestyle like? We don't know much. So if you go and ask a 3-year kid about how tomato grows, he doesn't know. He says tomato grows in market and we get it from market.
Or Swiggy.
So that should yeah. So that shouldn't happen.
Mm,
They should be knowing the real
mm,
things. And that should start from home. Home, first home is always the womb.
mm,
Right culture and nurturing needs to start, and all this pregnancy journey we work on their spiritual, we work on their energies,
mm,
the bonding between the husband and wife, what should be the family support, and along with all the modern support like ultrasounds,
mm,
supplements, medications, and also teaching them how the father needs to play a very important role during
mm,
pregnancy, how the mother needs to be getting the right care at the right time,
mm,
what is mother's role, what is her responsibility of being a mother and to the baby, what nurturing she needs to start, because none of the mother wants to like neglect any baby in the whole world, but the main thing why they will not be able to do is because of ignorance. They don't know what to do at what time. So that only is the reason why many mothers are not able to focus on what they're supposed to. So what I have planned is giving the right time so that they can implement at the right.
Something you said right now, just what came to mind, and especially today when we talk about, stress. And so one part is you know, in like stress playing a role in actually conceiving. The second part, of course, is, and of course there is, you know, science and technology there to assist, whether you talk about, you know, IVF and different ways in which the mother can conceive. The second part, of course, when we talk about is the actual process and taking the baby to term, if I've got my the terminology correct.
Yeah, correct.
And the third part, and this is something that I don't know how much gets talked about, at least in an Indian context. Nowadays, of course, thanks to, let's say, more popular movements, there is a little more openness to, you know, when we talk about mental health. When we talk about postpartum blues, is there anything within the program that you have that addresses this also? Because it's like now the baby has been delivered, right? So technically, that whole build up that was there for a lot of people is like, okay, done, right? And, you know, sort of like hoping that life comes back to normal in some form. But obviously, postpartum blues is a real thing.
Ivy.
So, from an Indian, you know, the Indian tradition point of view, I'm very curious to know, like, what are some of the ways in which, you know, women can manage this, and of course, as a family unit, that they can manage it, and some things that you have uncovered and discovered through the ancient texts.
Okay, to answer to your question, very beautiful question. In fact, lot of couples or lot of families do not
Mhm.
know about this. Even today, even in 2025, there are some families those who don't know that there is something called as postpartum depression
Mhm.
or postpartum. So, good question. I think this answer will help a lot of
Mhm.
people those who are watching also. So, to be very specific, lot of people at home also they compare their pregnancy to their elders' pregnancy at home. So comparing their pregnancy to their grandmother's pregnancy or their mother's
Mhm.
pregnancy or in-laws pregnancy, that's completely different. So one thing which is very, very precise is now no one pregnancy is similar to other pregnancy. Even the mother who is going through the same pregnancy, if she considers the second time,
Mhm.
her first pregnancy can never be same like the second one. Or second cannot be same like the first one. This is one important thing. And today, postpartum depression is rising to that extent that we are not even able to imagine. It's because of the health during pregnancy. And pregnancy health is getting destroyed because of pre pregnancy health. Pre pregnancy health also is very much horrible because of the lifestyle they led before marriage or before they conceive a baby. So connecting the all dots again, the lifestyle that we lead on a daily
Mhm.
basis is something which needs a correct shift at the right
Right.
time so that they can lead a healthy life.
Mhm.
When they lead a healthy life, they get a healthy conception. Healthy conception leads to healthy pregnancy. Healthy pregnancy leads to healthy postpartum period also. This is one important
Mhm.
thing. And considering all the hormonal
Mhm.
changes, considering that big shift in a mother's
Mhm.
journey, that's a very big milestone, right? And there are a lot of changes that the mother goes through. 9 months of journey is actually transformational. And as soon as the baby comes out, it's completely new for her.
Mhm.
It's completely new for her to wake up all night, completely new for her to sit for about 10 to 12 hours in a day to feed the baby and calm the baby when it is crying, making the baby to sleep. All these things are completely new for her. When there is no right support given from the family, or if she feels I'm the only one in this journey, then that is a time when a lot of mothers go through a huge amount of depression.
Mhm.
This is one of the reasons. And second thing is, a lot of people around her focus will completely shift from
Mhm.
mother to baby.
Mhm.
So if that happens, she feels all alone. Her subconscious mind feels completely, I'm like a worthless person because I've given the baby out. Who am I? There is no identification. So when a mother needs, like, basically she needs more care along with the baby. So if a right system is followed at the right time, then I think all these issues what mothers are
Mhm.
facing can be prevented up to 99.9%. And what we do in our community is we teach them what happens during pregnancy itself about the post
Mhm.
pregnancy. So let's say if somebody is in 8th or 9th month, we give a clear clarity on what's going to come up after they give birth. The first 1 hour, how it's going to be.
Mhm.
First one day, how it's going to be. The first 10 days, how it's going to be. First 40 days, the perperium period, how it's going to be there. And first 3 months, what all milestones your baby will achieve. Like this will give them a clear path of their baby in the upcoming days. So then it makes their mentally, they become more stable because they know what's going to come up. There is no suspense factor in their mind. When it comes in reality, they know, like say if they have entered third month, now they know what things I have to be giving to my baby, what food I have to consume, what should be the routine that I have to focus upon. So these things are very very clear. And during pregnancy itself, we help all the fathers how should they take care of the mothers after they give birth, and how should they help during the phase of labor
Mm,
while delivering the, or what should be the care they should be giving to the baby once the baby reaches 1 month, 2 months, three
mm,
months, 6 months, 1 year. So the clear role is very clear of each person. Now they don't have to mess up things. And also, what will be the role of in-laws? What will be the role of parents?
mm,
And what will be the role of peer people, like our age people, maybe friends or family or cousins, all these people. So this makes them very clear about how is the journey going to be.
mm,
This will actually prevent a lot of complications. In our community, till now we haven't seen not even a single case of postpartum depression.
mm.
Confusion is always
Of
possible
course.
with everyone, but that's the importance of taking the right help at the right time.
Amazing. So, like you've talked a lot about things that are very personal, things that are, that people may or may not be willing to talk about openly. At least it used to be like that, right? Have you seen any kind of a shift in that regard? Especially because, like you said, you're talking about a digital community, right? So you're talking about people, maybe they're meeting on Zoom, possibly WhatsApp or Telegram. What are some of the things that you have noticed, especially in this regard? When we talk about the whole process, from pregnancy to the actual, delivery, and then of course what comes after. But what are some of the things that you might have noticed amongst, say, your
I think
members?
what I have noticed is maybe a few years back when I was studying in
Mm,
college, people used to hesitate to share all their information, their personal
mm,
things. Example, what time do they wake up? These things generally
mm,
people will open up.
mm,
Lifestyle they will tell. But some things, for example, if they drink,
mm,
they won't they won't let us know that they also drink. Or if they smoke, they won't
mm,
let us know. They feel that we are going to judge, but
right.
we'll never judge anyone for that matter. So that was happening long back. But today people are completely open enough to take that also from us. And we are completely open enough to accept them as they are and help them in the condition where they come from. So that has shifted so much. In case if somebody is having some trouble in their some specific part of their
Mm,
life, they're open enough to share it. At least if not, majority of things people also have good maturity enough to share in front of everyone. If it's too personal, they want to connect on a one-on-one basis and they want to share, because people don't want who you
mm,
are. They want the solution for their problem.
yeah, true.
That's happening. So they want to be as
Mm,
transparent as possible, and this transparency will come
mm,
when they have some belief on the person who's going to treat the problem or at least help the problem with. So this shift is something what I'm also loving the most,
beautiful.
and this is helping us to explore beautifully. We are not having resistance to ask questions now.
Amazing.
If we can help them, that's a good thing. That is the reason why we are here.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome. So, this is that point where, I'm sure for those of you who are watching, you'd also want to know specifically, is there maybe a particular program that you have currently, maybe a workshop or maybe a book, something that can help people, get to know you better, get to engage more with your community. So, what is there something like this that people can connect with at the time of this recording, of course? And I will obviously leave links to the various programs. So depending on when people are watching this, you can always check the links. But at the time of this recording, is there something that is available for people to engage with you?
Yes, yes. So one thing what we are actually taking as an initiative to spread this knowledge
Mm,
is through webinars.
mm,
We conduct short 90 minutes webinar wherein all people, all walks of life, especially pregnancy and pre-pregnancy couples join, and they get to understand the real crux of how pre-pregnancy should be planned well. What's the importance? And there are some three beautiful principles they would be learning, some three secrets they should be learning. For example, in my webinar, I talk about how to nurture the baby from the mother's womb, and how to bond with the baby in the mother's womb. This is the second one. And third one will be very specifically on how to overcome the fear of birthing
Mm,
and how to enjoy the process of easy and smooth labor.
mm,
So these are some beautiful things that they should be learning. And also they'll be learning about what is this Garbha Samskar all about,
mm,
how they can start implementing right from the moment they start learning, like the moment they start into being in the webinar itself. We make them do some activities in the webinar itself.
mm.
So that assures them that this is definitely working for them.
Right, right.
So this is the webinar. So someone who is interested can join the webinar, and from there they can join our community Matrudevo Bhava as
Mm.
well, which is going to be very, very beautiful because people are exploring transformations.
Beautiful. As we start to, sort of close this loop for the time being, are there any stories that come to your mind of, like, like really reminding you that, yes, I'm so glad that I get to do this work? So stories of could be mothers, could be parents, could be the birth of the child, something that really stands out amongst the many that you have helped.
There are some many stories, but I would love to share one
Mhm.
story for sure with you. So there was one mother. She was conceived for the second time, but her age was 41 when she was conceived. And by the time she delivered, it was 42 years. She to let you know about a little bit about her background. She works as a junior lecturer in one of the PUC colleges. So she works for biology, I think. Um, Her husband was a maths teacher. So they come from very lower middle class kind of family. So her in-laws were extremely old. Father-in-law was about 80 years. Mother-in-law was more than 75. And she did not have her own parents as well. So coming from this attitude and background, she conceived very late. That was second child. First child was almost about 13 years already. So this was a time when she was getting a lot of free advices from people
Mm.
that you are so old enough to take care of the second child. You will not have enough money to give to your
Right.
child because first child itself you are like paying fees or taking care of the family is very difficult.
Mm.
It's going end to end
Mm.
actually. So now you have conceived for second time. Is it really necessary? And all so many
Mm.
questions. So when she was actually very much worried, ki, where I am, what I'm doing, where will I head
Mm.
to, and all. So she went to doctor, and doctor again said you are 41, so we can't take risk. Go and do this Down syndrome test, all these tests. So she went and did all the tests. So nothing was harmful. Everything was okay, good only. So, but someone told, okay, that you are so old enough, so you cannot go for easy, smooth labor. Again, that was like very strongly, it was there in her mind.
Mm.
Even doctor also told, see, we can't take risk because you are very weak because her HB was only 7 point. She had extreme back pain and she was very weak
Mm.
because of one of the factors was age and another factor was she was mentally a little depressed kind of person. So not clinical depression as
Mm.
such, but she had some sort of low feeling all the time because of all this environment.
Mm.
And all these things were happening and doctor also told we can't take risk. Let's go for C-section. Let's
Mm.
plan it off. And considering all these things, she was actually worried. And hopefully I met her that time.
Mm.
And I told all these things, what you're hearing from people is not true. For sure.
Mm.
Then I started telling her how it is not true. She was not actually ready to listen to all these things, but it took about 20-25 days for her to counsel me only. Generally,
Mm.
when people come, it's very easy for me to counsel and convince them within 20 minutes. But for me itself, it took about 20 days. But I only gave her one thing that you start doing.
Mm.
If it doesn't work, then I will see.
Right.
And hopefully she joined, I think, in sixth or 6.5 months. And after that, she followed everything to be very specific. She started working on her mindset.
Mm.
Never in her life she did yoga during
Mm.
pregnancy.
Wow.
Started doing yoga, pranayama. She started working. She started journaling also.
Wow.
She used to only write, which is necessary for office work or for only teaching. She used to
Correct.
do, but she never was a person who is going to sit and write. Literally did a lot of drawing, artwork, craft work, and all she did. And the final thing to come to the climax story, she was she has delivered a baby easily only within 6 hours. First delivery was so complex that it took about 2 full nights and 1 full day. So long it was, very painful it was. But second pregnancy, second delivery was such a smooth, easy labor. It only took 5, 6 hours, and as soon as she entered the hospital, it just took 10, 15 minutes to deliver the baby. That's it.
Wow. Amazing.
It was so smooth. Even the first stage was like she was not even aware that it has started. It was such painless thing.
Mm,
She was telling like I just went to the hospital and baby came out. That's it.
amazing.
So journey became so smooth. And this story is very close to my heart because someone thinks that I don't have so much of money. Am I too old enough? I don't have so much good environment for me to help. They live in a very small house. It's very congested, lot of things around. There is no much space. So almost one kid, husband, wife, and their in-laws. So about five
Wow.
people live in a very small home. So people from a very like where you come from is not at all a matter. Where you want to go and how do you follow the process is something very
Mm,
important. And in this whole journey, the first kid also started helping the mother. When I told him that you should help your mom to do yoga or help her to maybe walk or do all these things, he was very happy enough to support. Her husband was so sweet that when I started teaching or telling about all these things, he was so good that he wanted to come and help. So this is the level of transformation what I could see in all these 100 plus stories. This is one of the important story which I will never forget in my whole life. Because if somebody thinks that, oh my God, I'm working mother, I'm a working woman, I don't have time. If someone thinks I'm a homemaker, I
mm,
don't get so much of time to do all these
mm,
things. This is all the limitation that we keep for
right.
ourselves. When a baby is the priority, we always make time for everything. And she was working, no, she was working until 8.5 months in her pregnancy. So she was able to manage everything, and there was no maid at home. And she was doing all kitchen work, packing what is that? Carrier box, food for children, for herself, for their in-laws. They're very old, so care is much needed.
Mm,
So she was able to manage as a very good homemaker and the same good professional as a mother, as a wife. She was playing so many
mm,
roles, but still she was able to follow Garbha Sanskar, and it has given wonderful results. Now the child is, I think, 2.5 years now. She's doing beautiful. She identifies a lot of flashcards. She talks so nicely, very precisely. Her words are very clear in a
mm,
pronunciation also. So if someone with that background also can do
mm,
it, there is no limitation at all.
right.
All that limitation we have is something that we have fixed on our mind. Our mind is very, very powerful when we work with the right direction.
Very true. So, as we start to wrap this pod, for people who are, as I said, something in their lives have led them to understand that, they're meant to be in the space of coaching and healing. Is there something that you would like to share with them that can help them, that can inspire them, or that can remind them that, they are on the right track? Because in this journey, we've talked a lot about the ups, but there are also the downs that come with it. So, is there something that you would love to share with them so that they can, take heart and keep going?
Definitely. One thing is very, very clearly I want to say to everyone is your intention matters the most. Doesn't matter where you come from, what is your background, are you a real doctor or you're a maybe an allopathic doctor, or even if you're not a doctor, you're just an ordinary person. Doesn't matter. What kind of results you bring for your people is most important. So first start taking action. No matter if it's an imperfect action, not complete action, half action, full action, doesn't matter actually. First thing is to the intention of serving if you have, then there is no kami, there is no deficiency in anything. So first thing is taking action and don't be in a journey of perfectionism. So this is something which was also holding me back when I started doing a lot of videos. As an offline person, I can meet 1,000 people at a time, but going in front and not seeing anyone and talking to some lens was very challenging. But that also I have overcome. So if my intention is very clear that I want to help 1 million people, then how do I go and do it? So if my mission is very clear, the path also unveils on its own. This is very beautiful. And if something is holding, maybe if there is a
Mm,
resistance, if there is some challenge,
mm,
then it is a clear message from the God. The size of the challenge is directly proportional to the to efficiency of yours. For example, if I'm getting a small challenge, I'll be efficient enough to tackle that small
Mm,
challenge. But in case I get a bigger challenge, God is sending me a message that okay, you have this ability to solve bigger challenge. When we start solving small challenge to big challenge, obviously we will do something very big. But if we stop in that small challenge itself, there is no more way to go forward to explore bigger
mm,
challenges. When you start tackling bigger challenges, you can do what you really want to do in life.
beautiful. So I can definitely say that you are somebody who is living your purpose, and along the way, you're definitely inspiring people to, and parents and families. You're building them up, and may you continue to benefit with your work that you're doing, and may people also continue to benefit from all the beautiful work that you're doing. Once again, thank you for taking the time, and wish you all the best, Dr. Chandralekha, and all the work that you're doing, and may people continue to benefit. So, with that,
Thank you so
I just want to say, for those of you who've reached this point and you're watching the video, there's a reason, and I'm sure there is a message here that you have received that will go along with you in your work, whether you are thinking of starting a family, or whether you are thinking of somebody who you know can benefit, or maybe as a healer and coach, you're on the journey and you're constantly looking for these reminders that you're on the right track. So keep going, and as always, remember to live your purpose. God bless, and of course, we will be back with more pods this year. So wish you all the very best in all that you're doing. Until we meet again, take care. And once more to you as well, Dr. Chandralekha. God bless, and thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. It's been an honor to share my thoughts and whatever I do with you. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. And I feel very happy exploring my journey to a lot of other people because I think someone, if they can overcome all these
Mm,
things just by hearing, it will be a great help for them as well. So,
amazing.
so happy to share my journey, and also I'll be very happy to help everyone who
Mm,
watches this video, wants to start exploring on their own self, to giving birth to not just ordinary babies, but becoming a divine goddess mother first, and giving birth to most happy, healthy, and divine babies.
amazing.
That's
Amazing.
what is the need for this world. Thank you
May
so
you
much.
continue to live your purpose. God bless. Until we meet again. Take care.
Yeah, thank you. Take care.
Okay.